Okay, so my question is about expectations. You said you have zero expectations, which allows you to essentially, live life a little bit more freely. How do you do that?
Let's clarify it. I have zero expectations of others because I deploy empathy that they have their own shit going on and their own thing. And so I don't put myself in a position where people let me down because I deploy enormous amounts of empathy to understand they have other variables going on for them.
Gotcha. Okay,
so I have huge expectations of myself, right? I have enormous expectations of myself.
What about your employees?
I'm empathetic. Like, of course I pay them and I expect them, but like if they don't work as hard, like my friends are like, my employees don't work as hard as me. I'm like, give them a piece of the business. Like I'm empathetic to what the trade is. Yeah. And some of them grossly underperform what they get paid. Others grossly overperform. I'm trying to make sure I'm closing the gap on who's overperforming. I'm trying to move up people that are underperforming, but I'm realistic about it. I don't get emotional. Everybody's putting so much on the other person. I worry about what I can do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my man.
Absolutely. My next question would be is, and I know like with when you have very high standards, like I have extremely high standards for myself, and so sometimes when I'm underperforming, it stifles my creativity. How do you go about like essentially combining the two or not letting it stifle your creativity?
So for me, I don't judge myself. I'm worried about the pre-effort, not necessarily the result. I feel unbelievably satisfied with myself because I know I'm giving it my all, and just that is what I'm judging myself on, my effort and my tenacity and where my intent is coming from, not necessarily the results that manifested in the short term from those actions.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
John?
And I think the standard.
What about you, John?
I think the standard should be: did you put everything into it to make sure it was successful? And if you can feel confident that you did that, then you should feel good about yourself.
John, in a world where the world gets to judge your stuff, like I'm kind of like doing my thing, but in a world where maybe you fell in love with a song, like or an album that maybe underperformed, is that difficult? Or are you able to say, wow, I really gave it my all, it sucks that this underperformed, or this song's not doing well, or even this album's not doing well? How does that play out for you?
Yeah, you have feelings of doubt, especially at this point in my career, because I'm almost 40, and most hugely successful pop stars kind of peak in their late 20s through mid 30s, and so you always wonder, like, are people just going to get tired of you after a while?
But you had your biggest song ever, what, 4 years ago? Like 3, what is it? So do you
13,
do you
14.
feel a lot of pressure? Did you feel pressure when the album came out in December to have a song of that nature, or did you realize that was a unicorn?
That was a unicorn. I didn't expect any song to be as big as All of Me. I didn't expect All of Me to be as big as All of Me, and I don't expect a song after that.
Do you expect to never have how do you, I mean, I'm actually curious right now.
I literally had one of the biggest songs in the world that year, and it's nearly impossible to do that multiple times. There's only a few artists that do that. But what's your gut tell you? Do you think you got another one in you? I believe I'm gonna keep writing songs for at least 20 more years, and I'll have some more really great songs. But again, who knows if they'll ever be as big as All of Me? Like, it's hard to be the biggest song in the world.
You know what's crazy about All of Me is, like, I don't know, every goddamn wedding for the rest of time is gonna have a good chance of having that song somewhere in that playlist.
Yeah. And like Love Me Now.
Like Dunk's gonna dance to that at his wedding.
Love Me Now from this album did very well, and according, like pre All of Me standards, it was like one of my biggest songs. Yeah, but compared to All of Me, it's like, oh, wow, it didn't do as well.
Man, let me give you a good piece of advice for the people that work for you, for the people you work for yourself. Judgment is dangerous. You need to be reactionary. Too many people paint pictures to themselves that they can't live up to, and I think accepting yourself is extremely important while pushing yourself, and they're obviously opposite energies, but it's important to find that balance, because if you go one way or the other, you're gonna fall off kilter.
Beautiful.
All right, my man, thank you.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Take care.